Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between, and welcome to TrebleChin Entertainment. I am joined here by a shorter and blonder version of Drew.
Ice evolved.
It's not true.
That's Phteven back there.
That's Steven back there.
Yeah.
This is Drew.
Yeah.
No, I'm joined here by Steven, my good buddy. And we're going to talk about something that I know you're probably tired of us talking about on this channel, because there's the love, there's the hate, and now there's whatever this becomes.
Hateful eight.
As the hateful eight. No, we're going to talk about Fallout again. No, because if you've been following our channel, you probably heard that right after Fallout came out, me and Drew were really, really excited about it, and then after a little bit, we did a video about how much we hated it. And now
More just kind of.
and now
No, I'm like, it's okay.
now
guys.
Phteven is joining me today to talk to me about why on earth he still plays Fallout 4.
Yeah, and I think it's different perspectives of the game too, because you look at, I don't know, you're a lot more like action adventure, which Fallout has it, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is the settlement shoving down, where people who love customization and because a lot of it is too the perks you invest in, because I think
Yeah.
you really got burnt out with some of the stuff, how grindy it is, and I hated that too.
I fucking hate that perk system. Like it took me a minute, because like at first I'm like, this is interesting. It's kind of like taking further what we had in Skyrim. And then after I played it for a little bit and actually noticed some of the intricacies of it, I realized, oh no, they ruined what they had in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Because like what they had in Skyrim, like me and Drew will argue about this, but I think it was amazing. Like I loved the perk system in Skyrim. But
That's fine.
that's fine. I just feel like this took it a step further in a really bad way.
Yeah, which is, I think a lot of its saving graces was the DLC, just because I felt like they added some stuff. Even like Automatron wasn't that great, but I think the main feature of that was the whole robot building system. But
Even Sexy Codsworth couldn't save that.
yeah, even Sexy Codsworth. Well, it was more like, and again, like making Sexy Codsworth is arguably the best thing in the whole thing, but like the storyline was kind of meh. But like when you could make like a fucking sentry tank.
Well, it wasn't really a story DLC is the thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, it had a. I feel like it was supposed to be like its Dawn Guard of the thing, but it was a lot less
No.
toned down.
Hearthfire.
Oh well, no, the Wasteland Workshop.
I'd say
would be-
Wasteland Workshop would be
Yeah.
more there.
Which the Wasteland Workshop added some cool stuff. Primarily the whole system where you can have cages. You can capture synth gorillas, which is wild. Which there will be some spoiler warnings in this.
Yes, Winston.
But yeah, like like you could make the Imperial City arena if you really wanted to. It added a lot of cool features.
Yeah.
I was surprised in Far Harbor.
Far Harbor.
How much cool stuff they added. They added like lots of different types of like oil lamps, different like candles and stuff. You can make, honestly, you can make a really cool, almost Victorian looking town if you wanted to.
Right.
Barn stuff, but yeah.
So I've been out of Fallout 4 for a while. Like I haven't really played since, I would say, December. And I want you to I'm going to give you about 2-3 minutes to talk about Far Harbor and tell me why I need to buy it.
So honestly, what I liked about it, part of the thing about Fallout stuff is that there was just so much content, like on the mainland part of the thing, where, and a lot of it was grindy too. A lot of it wasn't new content, but one thing I really liked about Far Harbor, because it's DLC, there's not a whole lot of grind to it, because they're trying to, constantly entertain you because you spent more money, but
Yeah.
it's kind of nice because you feel like you're achieving more. And the main quest line, it just feels like as you're grinding along, you're not really making a difference.
Yeah.
But like it's really cool because like when you first get on the island, there's these harbormen and they live in Far Harbor.
Far Harbor.
They don't, they disdain you. You're an outsider, and you go on the island without trying to spoil too much, as a detective with Nick Valentine to find these people's daughter.
Which is enough to make me consider it.
Yeah.
Already.
Because you get on the island, everybody's like, well, you're a detective. Well, this is missing, and this person's missing, and you find a lot of people eaten by Milorks and mauled by ghouls, and eventually you can do this stuff where in the town they're like, well, shit, you're really helping us out here. You unlock some more settlements for them. And surprisingly, they don't force you to do a bunch of shit in the settlements. Like, you could just leave them alone. But even at that, if you're into settlements, they're actually really cool settlements. But all aside, eventually they have you do the captain's dance. It was an old tradition that burnt out a long time ago where you basically lure something like a Mylert queen and kill it. But it's just really cool, some of the stuff they have. You just feel like you're actually progressing. There's a whole city of synths, and major spoiler here, I don't want to totally ruin it, but, and again, I haven't beaten it yet, but you actually meet someone of close relation to Nick Valentine without saying too much, and it really kind of unclears a lot of his past. There's a lot of cool detective work. And it's just really cool. The creatures are neat. I was walking along, and doing my doodly do, and I pulled up my vats, and it says hermit crab, and it's a bus. And I'm like, buses aren't hermit crabs. Silly.
Stupid idiot. Buses aren't hermit crabs.
Took out my little pistol. I was like, and then it's just, and I was like, shit. And this fucking hermit crab crawled out of the bus, and oh my god, but it was crazy. And I killed another one too, which was in my settlement. This was a cool little feature where all the villagers were like, there's a hermit crab, and we gotta go kill it. And I was like, alright, rally the troops, and we all met outside the village and killed this beast. Really cool features, cool weapons too. It kind of has a Dishonored vibe to it. It's kind of got that foggy...
Explain that.
I don't know a whole lot about Dishonored, but just
because
from
I
what
don't
I've
think
seen,
you know anything about Dishonored. If you think that was,
but it's got that
Dishonored.
It's got that coastal foggy
in location. Yes, it looks a little bit like Dishonored.
Yeah,
in
terms
way.
of questline, I don't know. I can't tell you, but it's aesthetically yes. But
okay. And your time's about
yeah, my time. I could keep ranting.
You could keep ranting, but I know you could keep ranting, but okay. So I'm gonna that does make me interested in jumping back in for Far Harbor.
For Harbor.
But because it seems like it's putting at the forefront one of the things that really got me into Fallout 4 from the start, which was the Nick Valentine stuff.
Yeah.
Like after you exit the vault and you're looking for your son, it kind of feels like it could morph into a detective story.
Yeah.
And for a time it does.
Yeah.
Which I thought was absolutely incredible. Like what they did with the narrative seemed realistic in a way. But I almost would have preferred if they kept it simple and just had you looking for your kid.
Yeah.
Because if it was just, and I'm going to try to tiptoe around spoilers as much as I can because some people give a shit about that stuff.
Still?
Some people might. I don't know. I'm being generous.
Attempting to be courteous.
Just say spoilers.
I'm being generous. Anyway, so like I kind of wish it was just like, okay, your kid's gone, go find your kid.
Yeah.
Instead, they made it so much about the factions, which is fine.
Yeah.
But the communication is awful.
Yeah.
The way it communicates what you're supposed to be doing and what the actual goal of the quest is after the actual linear portion is done, after you reach the major plot point, and it becomes just kind of, I don't know, figure it out.
I know.
And like it I'm like, well, do I have to become the bad guy now? Because if you're trying to do that linear story path, it makes you go and do things for the Institute, which is not
you can either pick the Institute, like wipe out everybody. It's the best chance for the Wasteland, but you totally violate everybody's rights. You can go Brotherhood and just install this like kind of fascist, kind of like higher lords government, or you can go Railroad, which is the moral compass, good faction. But at the same time, though, you're not. It's more of a movement than it is an actual system of government for the Wasteland. And so, unless I don't know, it's like unless there was some way you could like really like reform the Institute, there's really no way you could actually really save the Wasteland, because even the Minutemen don't change much. It's just like
and that's one of the things that really turned me off about the game, because like I appreciate a strong main quest before I jump into the side quests, and I feel like Fallout 4 has a weaker main quest than Skyrim.
Yeah.
Like Skyrim does not have the best main quest. It's basically there are dragons. What are we gonna do about that?
Yeah, but then you get to the side quests.
And then you get to the side quests, and that's where the real meat happens. And that is so with Fallout 4. Like, Fallout 4 has incredible side missions.
Yeah.
It has an incredible world. But there's always that, like, hanging thought, like, I should be, like, doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? Like,
Yeah.
I shouldn't... And eventually, there's nothing really that is fulfilling for, like, a single play session of Fallout 4. Like, it doesn't really respect your time by making you feel a sense of accomplishment so much that you're like, okay, that's enough for today.
Yeah.
It's more like, all right, that was cool. That was a little harder than I probably should be, but I prevailed. But then you keep playing, and eventually you're just like, I'm tired. I just don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. Because, like, at first I tried to go Minutemen, and, like, it had me just clear out the same, like, 6 dungeons every time.
Yeah.
And that's when I stopped playing, because I'm like, this is really fucking stupid. And then when I came back, I just fuck the main quest, started wandering around. There were all sorts of different dungeons that I didn't discover yet. And, like, over the settlements, I'm like, this is really kind of cool. And I just felt like the main quest, because Fallout 4 has huge potential. It's a really fun game, but yeah, the main quest totally just grinds you into the ground away from this stuff. And Fallout is usually more about their main quests than anything else.
And it's such an incredible world.
Yeah.
Like the world is
So
incredible,
really
and
unique,
the art direction is absolutely unmatched.
Uh-huh.
Like it makes me able to forgive everything that's an issue with the actual graphics engine. It's like the graphics engine is dated as all hell, but the art direction hides that very, very well.
Yeah.
And it feels so vibrant and so alive while being dead.
Rusted,
and that's part of why I kept it on my Game of the Year list at the end of the year, because I don't want to say I don't like this game.
Yeah.
Because I do, and I appreciate what it's doing.
It just had lost potential.
It just had a lot of lost potential, especially in that main quest line. Like the main quest line starts off very strong. It makes you feel something. It sends you out. You go, and there's a really cool detective area that starts to come out, and that maybe I feel like that was where it lost me once that fell off the cliff, because I'm so into detective fiction.
Yeah, and I love politics, so it's like a very yeah.
But like once it pussies out on the detective stuff and is just like, okay, you might want to start putting points into combat, and we're gonna put less strain on actually like talking to people. Like, I really appreciated the ability to talk my way out of scenarios, the ability to choose to not fight when I didn't have to, the ability to maybe pick a better outcome than just killing everybody.
Yes, I basically again made a fat gunslinging cowboy who was charisma focused, and the game stopped letting me do that.
And that would be fine if they announced at the beginning, like, okay, this is gonna be something you want for side quests and maybe occasionally in the main story, but pretty much you're gonna want to put stuff into combat. But it's just it gives you the illusion of choice and then snatches it out from under you in the worst and most awful possible way.
Yeah.
But from what you're saying about the storyline in Far Harbor, like there are, and what I've read and heard from articles and reviews, there are choices that have an impact on the storyline. There is that detective fiction that I really appreciated from the main story.
The good guy, bad guy is a little bit more clear, where in the main quest it's very like, well, what's the shiniest of the 3 turds? But it's a lot more kind of, you can kind of figure out who's more the good and bad guy. There's still a little bit of gray area, but you will need high combat for Far Harbor. It doesn't, not to say that there aren't chances to peacefully work out a quest, but just
Yeah.
traveling the island with this radioactive fog. There's ghouls, there's Mirelurks, there's hermit crabs and buses.
Yeah, and I appreciate the need to have combat for fighting the actual mindless monsters of the wasteland, but if I'm going up against people, I feel like I should be able to treat them like they're people.
Yeah. I know there's one quest that stuck out that was a very, very kind of fun detective quest. Again, this is a spoiler. I don't know how to dance around this without actually giving it away. I'm not going to reveal who did the murder or anything, but just
Who done it?
there's this vault you find. So again, last spoiler warning, but
vault you see.
you find when you get to Far Harbor, there's this Mr. Handy or Mrs. Handy, and she wants your help. So you follow her through this ghoul-ridden hotel, really nice hotel, and then you find a vault. And you're like, wow, fucking vault. Well, everybody inside was really, really rich people, and it's really cool because to preserve their bodies, they all turned themselves into robo-brains, but somebody murdered someone in the vault, and you got to figure out which robo-brain did it. And it's really kind of fun. It's a very whodunit type murder.
Yeah. And from what I heard from some of the reviews, they take glee in kind of hamming it up and making it a corny old school detective story.
Yeah.
When they do stuff like that,
it was fun.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know if I want to get Far Harbor because everything you're saying sounds great. Mm-hmm. Everything about it sounds like I would be this is exactly what I want. This is exactly what will revitalize my feelings about Fallout 4. But the thing is, that's how I felt when they announced Fallout 4.
Yeah.
I was not excited for Fallout 4 in the slightest. And then I saw that announcement and I was like, this is something that's going to get me into this series. Yeah. And for a while it did, but after a while it grated on me. And I'm wondering if this is going to grate on me eventually.
I get the feeling that it might. And the idea that, because I haven't really done the main quest much, no surprise, I haven't done the main quest much in Far Harbor. Yeah. But once you get past the kind of, without any spoilers, the detective milestone, Jesus Christ, the detective milestone, you can tell, just like the mainland, there's 3 major factions. Yeah. There's the Harbormen, the Acadians, and then the Children of Adam. And I feel like it's going to turn into another, okay, you solved the mystery, but here's 3, I feel like it might be like a minor version of the main quest storyline. Yeah. You know?
I don't know. Maybe that won't ruin it as much now that I know that that's what it's going to... Yeah. My main issue with the the main quest was I didn't understand that that's what they wanted me to do to actually finish the main quest, because in Elder Scrolls games the factions are completely separate from the main quest. In Fallout 3, what I played of it, it seems like the factions are pretty much the faction work is pretty much separate from the main quest.
Well, not in Fallout 3, because you just pick Enclave or Brotherhood.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, though, is also it's a lot clearer who's the good guy and bad guy. Yeah. You know.
I don't even mind there being a gray area. I just would like the fact that is the way to progress to be. Yeah. Told to me.
I just felt like they tried making you hate the game. You know what I mean? It's because people like to play for completion, and they're trying very, very hard to give you no sense of completion in Fallout. Yeah. But that's part of the fun of a Bethesda game, is that you've explored this deep world corner to corner. So if they keep making you explore the same dungeon over and over, you're gonna hate it. Yeah. It's gonna ruin that kind of magic, that exploringness to it.
Yeah, and what I love so much about Skyrim was that main quest was a globe-trotting quest. You visited every corner of Skyrim in that
without them
quest.
Shoving it down your throat.
Yeah, and there's a good selection of dungeons. Yeah. They have a lot of the core mechanics of the game represented in the main quest. Whereas in Fallout, it's okay, go there and grab some shit. I'm okay, I'll do that. Come back, and they're okay, you didn't get everything we need, so we're gonna need you to go back.
Yeah.
And like, it just feels like forgetting something at the grocery store.
Well,
It's not.
And it's like in like Skyrim, and it's like, oh, we need to go to the Thieves Guild to get information about this.
Yeah, and
you're-
it gives you a preview of
Yeah.
every faction while you're doing the main
and like
quest.
and like in the Thieves Guild too, there is some grinding where you do some repetitive quests. But after 5 quests, a new shop opens in the Rift and Underground area, and eventually you turn this into like an underground marketplace, and you get this feeling of accomplishment step by step that your grinding is paying off. In
Yeah.
Fallout, it's just repeat. Now this settlement's pissed off. Repeat, and they have you get more and more settlements. But there's way more than a comfortable amount. As much as I love settlement building and settlement creation, there are so many settlements. It's like it's overwhelming for the amount of resources and time it takes to make one really cool settlement.
Especially if you're trying to level up the Minutemen. Like the
Yeah.
the Minutemen, from what I understand, is for you if you are really into that settlement stuff, into that Minecrafty stuff, into that rebuilding civilization.
Well, and I was big into like Minecraft stuff, but it's just annoying that it feels like these people are totally just not independent at all. Like, you make this huge town with turrets and defenses and water and food and trade routes, and then suddenly there's a ghoul problem, and like the ghoul settlement's like on the other side of the fucking map, and I'm just like, it just doesn't make any. It's just, you feel like you're wasting so much time and like all this work you put into this settlement, this town you created. It doesn't even matter because these people just whine and can't complain, can't work for themselves.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know.
it's frustrating.
Yeah, but this started as me wondering what you still like about Fallout, and from what you're saying, you don't like anything about
I don't like the Minutemen.
Yeah.
A lot of it too is I stopped focusing on the Minutemen and settlements. So what I would do, I put 4 ranks into Strongback, so I can be over encumbered, and I can still go at normal speed. It'll slowly reduce my AP, but I got another rank that cuts that in half, so it goes pretty slow. I can fast travel over encumbered, and it's really nice because I can scavenge a ton of shit, so I have plenty of resources, so I'm not constantly going back and forth.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
that was another thing.
Yeah.
Another thing that bugged me about the game was like, it seems like this is a game about grabbing crap,
Yeah.
and then you punish me for grabbing too much crap.
Exactly. So I think that changed it a lot for me because it was a lot less loading screens, I'll say.
But you're gonna make the story about combat, so I need to put points into combat, but I also need to put points into my strength so I can actually carry all the crap that you want me to grab.
Exactly.
But I'm dying because I'm not putting those points into combat, and I still need to put my points in my special skills and waste points there,
Yeah.
so I can't put points into the stuff that's actually gonna help me.
I feel like what they want you to do is they want you to have
Squirm!
well, they want you to have that perfect character, and they're pushing really hard for you to get that perfect character.
But you need to build that perfect character
Yeah.
in the right order,
Naturally.
otherwise you're gonna get fucked.
Because I feel like they're like, well, you need to start grinding if you want this character, and it's not like you want this perfect character, it's you need this perfect character.
Yeah.
Is what I feel like they're trying to push onto you. But I feel like you have to look at the game in the right angle too, because it was fun. Like, I always replay Bethesda games. I played through Skyrim so many times as every different race, every different class. And it was great. I love the replay value. Replay in Fallout, I tried to do another replay for it. Got about like maybe 10 to 12 hours in, and I'm like, this is fucking horrible. Because like I went back to my other game, my old one, and I had all my gear, all my power armor, and I'm like, I'm just gonna stick with this. Just because,
Now you're like questing and playing a lot.
yeah, because I have good weapons, I have stuff. It's just like I feel like the early game in Fallout 4 is pretty hard too. There's definitely a hill you got to get over because late game is so much more fun. Once you got a really nice base, really nice gear, you know.
Yeah, Arrow gets real good in like season 3. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Season 2. Season 1's still pretty good though.
Yeah, whatever. That's what I'm hearing when
Yeah.
you're telling me late game in Fallout is where it gets fun. I'm just like, yeah, but I have to trudge through all this crap.
Very true, yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. But
It might be a good closure.
I'm thinking about jumping back in because Far Harbor, and
It's a cool aesthetic, and I love all these like fishermen. The follower you get, his name's Old Longfellow. I don't know if you read much about him, and it's funny because he's this old kind of gruff harbor man, and it's just like he loves it whenever you drink and use sarcasm.
Yeah.
He's fun. He says a lot of funny stuff, but it's really great. There's a lot of cool gear. The Raiders are interesting too. The Raiders have really cool gear, but they're called trappers, and this radioactive fog screws with them, and they like hear voices, and they go around and they poach everything. And I guess this fog, every like 8 years or so, it kind of ascends and rescends. And I guess though this year in this Far Harbor time, it's the worst it's ever been.
Winter is coming.
Yeah. And like people are losing a lot of land. They're pushed to the coast, and you have to slowly take back fog with these machines from the synths.
Take back Erebor.
Yeah. And a lot of it they think is the Church of Adam, because they showed up. Next thing you know, radiation's fucking everywhere, and this fog is everywhere.
Yeah.
And so, I haven't encountered the Church of Adam yet. I mean, I've encountered a couple of their followers, and they're out, like, worshipping barrels of sludge. But, I get the feeling, though, that I think they might set it up to where maybe there's some sort of, like, good side thing about the Church of Adam that we don't know yet. But, I don't know. But from what I've seen, they're fucking batshit crazy. I'm going to blow them up, but...
You can't blow them up. They worship the atom bomb.
Yeah, no, that's what, okay. This is a major spoiler. Skip this part if you care. But I read online that you either choose. Do you want me to spoil it for you?
I kind of would like you not to.
And then I won't.
Because I'm thinking about.
I read a thing online, and you have one of two major options, which I won't say, but it's interesting. They make you pick, and again, one's kind of more good than bad, but it's still kind of like, well, But yeah, I won't say anything more than that. But yeah, I feel like it's a good sense of closure if you want to like complete a major quest line in Fallout 4 without doing the main quest. Because you want to move on to other games. It's not that you dislike their game.
Yeah.
And I feel like they want that to be like your game. They're trying so hard, but it's not. Yeah. It doesn't feel natural.
And that's the thing that's really interesting. Like you want to build a game. Like Bethesda games have always been the one game you get if you can only get one game.
Yeah. And
they have worked really beautifully in the past, like
even when the Wi-Fi's down.
With Oblivion, Skyrim, and for other people, not myself, Fallout 3. They've worked as a game for the people who can get other games.
Yeah.
To play through that game, get their satisfaction out of it, and then move on to bigger and better things.
Exactly.
But Fallout 4 seems like this has to be your one game, otherwise you're not going to get the full enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, and I hate that.
And I feel like Skyrim, like I could play Skyrim and play other things. I could start out by playing one thing and then jump into Skyrim, or vice versa. But Fallout 4 seems like, okay, it feels like and I've said this about other games, but it feels like reading.
Yeah. To
me, like
the
way reading is for me. Like I'll get through a bunch of pages while reading.
And you're like, when's the next chapter?
Yeah, and I keep moving through, but like every reading session for me ends with, I don't feel like doing this any longer.
Yeah.
Not, fuck yeah, I've got to go to bed. I've got to...
For me, it's like, okay, I'm going to read till this chapter, and I got to trudge through it to get to there so I can be caught up with my class tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And that's what it feels like in Fallout 4. It's like, okay, how many fucking grinding quests does Preston Garvey want me to do before I might get the chance to maybe get a quest?
Yeah.
I hate it so much. I hate the main quest. It ruined the game because, again, it's a great, detailed, large, beautiful game. But what I'm really hoping they do, because I know in Fallout 3, the original vanilla main quest was very meh.
Yeah.
Until they added Broken Steel, which added a whole nother like little ending to it, and it really added a lot to it. And I'm hoping that they add another main quest.
Yeah, because
another DLC where like either maybe
there is one more I think at least one more DLC coming that's gonna be like a big story thing again.
Yeah. Well, I know one is like something to do with like a Nuka-Cola amusement park, which I think that should be a smaller one.
I feel like I heard there were two story based ones and the two like ones that are like here's some more depth to the crafting, which was the
Wasteland Workshop,
Automatron and the
Wasteland Workshop. I'm hoping they add like maybe 3 more, because if this, I don't know, like one to the main quest. I guess maybe 2 more then, yeah. But yeah, 1 to fix the fucking main quest, and then maybe 1 more just for some more exploration.
Yeah, but I don't know. It sounds like you and Fallout have a complex relationship.
Yeah.
That I don't. Okay, I want to ask you this question, because like you don't have as you don't feel like spending as much money on video games as someone like me does. So like I'm wondering, if you had the money to spend on other video games and you had more video games to play, do you think you would still play Fallout?
I mean, personally, if I had money to get video games, I would want it to be Fallout. I mean, the thing is, I really wouldn't want to spend, because a lot of times it's like, well, I'm playing Fallout right now. I have some other games I haven't finished The Witcher yet.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason why, is because I haven't
finished The Witcher yet.
There is no finish.
I like completing games, and it's a harder task because games get bigger and bigger. So I feel like I'm progressively spending less money on video games for that very reason. But
okay, so you feel like even if you had more money, you would more money to spend on video games, you would still play Fallout and actually choose to not buy other video
unless
games?
it's okay, like obviously Civ 6 coming out, I'm gonna get if it's a very specific game that I really want to buy.
Okay.
But like right now, like I'm not in the place where I want to like I don't know, it sounds like dating. I don't want to experiment with other games because I got what I want right now. I don't totally. This summer I have some time to do it, but like.
And it keeps me satisfied.
Basically, I mean,
gives me all I need.
I've also learned with Fallout 2 is like I can't give in to their grinding, or else I'll hate it. So what I'll do is I'll play for, maybe 3 or 4 hours. I'm like, okay, that's enough. Watch a couple episodes of The Office, do whatever, go see Masha or something, and then I'll come back, play a few more hours. But if you give into their grinding, you're gonna hate it.
I enjoy the idea of like Masha as like your side girl while you're banging Fallout 4.
You're great and all, but Piper. This too, you can also bring your followers to
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
You can bring your other followers to Far Harbor, which I like too, because you used to not be able to bring your followers into quests.
Yeah,
so.
Me and Piper are gonna go on a nice romantic vacation to a monster-infested island on the off the coast of Maine,
covered in radioactive fog, and like radical Mormons, and
I think it's
off Maine.
Yeah, it's off the coast of Maine.
It's up north.
Yeah,
it's
north.
It feels a lot like a much more in-depth, less redneck. What was the Fallout 3 DLC? Point Lookout, yeah. For me, but yeah. And I really enjoyed Point Lookout. It's got that kind of creepy, dark vibe to it. The fog is really creepy, because in your settlements, when you make towns, especially if you use like oil lamp like lighting and stuff, when it's nighttime and there's that fog, it's got this creepy vibe, and it's really cool. Like
that makes me excited. Like I am kind of in a dip in the video games that I have to play. Like I'm still playing Doom a little bit, and I'm playing Overwatch every now and again. But like right now, there's no big story-based game that I'm working on except for like The Witcher. Whenever I get around to jumping back into that, and I feel like Fallout 4 Far Harbor might be something I'm interested in.
It's fun. The aesthetic is, I think, even more than the quests and the followers and the settlements. The main thing for me with Far Harbor is the aesthetic, that this fog, this freaky island. It's fun because they're like, stay away from the fog, and like when you venture into the fog, it's like you got this eeriness. It's not like almost like a scary movie. Like you feel something like almost looming over you. You don't know what you're gonna encounter.
Sounds very Ravenloft.
It's got this kind of creepy, fun vibe to it, and I just really enjoy venturing the island, because in the mainland Fallout, it's just it's like kind of open flatland city, it's fun, but it's a lot more, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but just the aesthetic of the game is just great, and I love it so much.
And I think we're gonna have to cut this video
it's getting a little
there,
long.
but I think I'm gonna get Far Harbor.
Far Harbor.
And maybe jump back into Fallout 4 because what you're saying really intrigues me and makes me feel like maybe I can give it another shot.
There's lots of mystery with it. Yeah.
But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and share on Facebook and do all the fun social media stuff. If you have been playing Fallout 4 Far Harbor, let us know what you think in the comments below. And if you haven't been, if you're in the same boat as me, let us know what you think of Steven's pitch. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Davey here with TrebleChin Entertainment.
I'm Phteven.
And this has been us. Yeah. Yep. Take it easy.